What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ilias. I'm a photographer located in Athens, Greece. And in this video, I just want to say one thing. Fuck your photography rules and your videography rules. Let me explain why I'm doing this video. So for a long time, I personally have been following all these really important and fundamental photography rules, like the rule of thirds and all that kind of stuff, leading lines, whatever. And of course, all these things and all these rules are really important in order for us to understand what's aesthetically pleasing. But I personally was starting to become this person that if a photograph didn't match the criteria that I have been brainwashed to believe is the only thing that's acceptable in photography, then it wasn't good for me. And I started to realize that because, as most people, I have been scrolling through Instagram Reels, and of course, as a photographer, I get many photography and videography related Reels, and in the comments, it's always a war. It's always a war between settings, it's always a war between composition, and I'm like, holy shit, these people, they look so miserable, they have so much hate in them, and of course a lot of free time because they're exchanging for days comments back and forth saying, no, these settings are wrong, no, these are the right settings, you are doing it wrong, I'm doing it right. What the fuck? And I got the idea of this video a few days ago, where I sent a few of my wedding pictures to another fellow wedding photographer and best friend of mine, Nicholas. I will link all his social media down below so you can check him out. He's really talented. Anyways, I'm losing my focus. So basically, I sent him a few of my wedding images in order for him to review them and give his honest opinion on what I could have done better. And what captured my attention is that on that specific image over here, which personally I really love, he told me that I could give even more dead space to the image. And I'm like, but I already have a little bit of dead space, like why give it even more? And he's like, well, for my stylistic approach of photography, in these situations I shoot even wider, like he gives a little bit more of a dead space in these situations. And I was sitting there, even after the call, I was like, why? Why more dead space? Dead space is not good. That's the thing that I was told, that dead space is not a good thing. No! Rules are meant to be broken. After that realization, I went and looked at many famous and really successful wedding photographers, and I saw that for some reason, I didn't even notice that in the beginning, they give so much dead space to their images. Go right now on Instagram and type your favorite wedding photographer or something like that, someone really successful. You will see that in many images they give so much dead space. And I'm like, wow, they break the rules, but it looks so good. It just looks so good. And the point of this video is that basically we are limiting ourselves. We are limiting ourselves by following these rules that someone told us. Someone on YouTube probably here told us. I maybe told you to follow these rules. So yeah, you don't always have to follow the rules. Obviously, like I said in the beginning, they're fundamental in order for us to learn what's aesthetically pleasing. But these rules, they are not meant to be used all the time. I think if we sometimes break the rules, we find different approaches to photography. We unlock a little bit more creativity in our brains. Why? Because we basically lock ourselves in all this time by following these stupid rules. They're not stupid, but yeah, you get what I mean. And there's one more instance, which I saw yesterday, I think. So there's this Instagram reel, and if I find it, I will play it right now, but I haven't saved it, so whatever. And there was this wedding videographer who was shooting at 4K 60, and he was using a shutter speed of, I think, one of 500, 600, something really fast. And he was using that specific shutter speed in order to film a little bit of B-roll from the tables, from a few details and all kind of stuff. And in the comments, he was getting torn apart by these idiots who can follow only the I don't know how this rule is called, where you have to multiply by 2 the frames and use that specific shutter speed. So most of them were telling him that, oh my god, you're not using 120 of a shutter speed. Why are you using 600 shutter speed? Like, you're not a professional. And I'm like, there's a really easy explanation for that. If you want to stabilize your footage later, first of all, for some random b-roll for a little bit of details, you don't need that cinematic motion blur. You don't need that. So he chose that faster shutter speed because the more shutter speed you have and the less motion blur you have, the easier it is to add even more stabilization later on DaVinci, on Premiere, and all these editing softwares. It's basically easier for any software to stabilize a footage without any cinematic motion blur. And again, you had all these ignorant people down there who learned this one rule and they couldn't understand why the specific videographer broke that rule. That poor guy got so much hate in the comments. He tried to explain themselves, but these losers, they couldn't understand it. So yeah, don't be that guy. If a rule is being broken, especially by a professional who knows what he's doing or what they are doing, the rule is probably being broken for some reason. I'm sorry about the dog, but I need to finish this video. Don't be that person that needs to follow all the time the rules. Maybe ask them, why are you breaking the rule? Maybe you will find a different approach. Maybe you will learn something. We are not God. We don't know always everything. So yeah, stop being ignorant. Stop following the rules from time to time. It will for sure benefit your photography and videography even more. Even a small talk with a friend of mine who was reviewing some of my images, it made me such a better photographer. Something that simple unlocked a new way of thinking, of composing my images. And yeah, if you are a person who thinks that they know everything, you probably don't know shit. Anyways, this is where I'm going to end the video. If you are new here and you like photography, videography, street photography, travel photography, car photography, reviews, gear talk, whatever it might be, we're doing everything here in this channel. Consider also liking this video because this really helps out with the algorithm. If you want to support this channel even further, I have a really inexpensive preset pack down below on my website. If you like the editing style that I'm doing here on this YouTube channel and on my Instagram, then this is how I do it. My presets are all in that preset pack. And yeah, as always, I truly appreciate every single one of you that choose to spend a little bit of your valuable time by watching my content. This really means the world to me. And as always, see you next time. Take care. Peace.